Once, if you would, we'll keep a note of them, and then we'll address all of your questions at one time, and you may also give me all of your comments at that time as well. If you would rather provide feedback another time online, we have both survey and comment forms in paper form tonight, or you may use the QR code. It's the one with the under the blue bar over here, and you can provide us that input. The QR code where the green is, that's to sign up for our email list, and we strongly encourage you to do that. We will be sending out a lot of emails once we get into construction. And with that, that's really my last housekeeping item for the night. So you've already met Justin, so I'll ask Soli to introduce himself, followed by Nita and Sam.
Hello everybody, my name is Soli Rojas and I'm the project manager.
Project manager.
Hello everyone, my name is Nita Sharma. I'm the project manager with Wade Trim. We are the design engineers for segment A.
I'm Sam Flowers with Garney Construction. We're the construction manager.
Thank you. Do we have the middle mic turned on?
No.
Okay. We'll get that middle mic turned on, and then our first speaker is Cassandra Merritt.
I don't need to actually, I talked to them earlier.
Okay, very good. Also, if there's anyone here that has a specific property question, you have a question about your property and an easement, you can meet separately with the project team. They can meet you out in the lobby out here. So if you would like to do that, you can raise your hand and a member of the project team will meet you in the lobby. All right, our second speaker is Vivian Baca. And I hope I said that right.
Do I have to come up there?
To this microphone, and we might need to lower it some for those of us who can't reach that.
I wish I was.
And if you would give us all of your questions, all of your comments at once, and then we'll answer.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first is an easy question. This is a nice slide presentation. Is that going to be on the website so we can look at it? And I wasn't able to jot down everything I wanted to ask about.
Yes, we can put the presentation on the website.
Okay, that was an easy one. Poor Soli, he got all my sinkhole questions at the beginning. I do not live on the actual route of Rennell Drive, but I live on the adjacent road on El Greco. And I've lived in my neighborhood for almost 30 years, and I'm quite familiar with a lot of its characteristics. I'm really concerned that this entire route going through Brandon, up John Moore, all that, including my neighborhood, is in what used to be called the sinkhole high hazard area on a Hillsborough County map. Yeah, I think it was probably before 2005. That map was part of, originally anyway, the Brandon Community Plan. And one of the things I really haven't felt like is the Brandon Community Plan, which I worked on, and my neighborhood future land use issue have actually been addressed in the planning criteria of this project. So the one big question I have is, if you're going to be doing borings for sinkholes, how close together are they going to be on Kings and Rennell? And is that information going to be public information that's going to be put up on the website, or is that something that we would have to make an information request to get?
Are those all of your questions?
That's it.
Okay. Let's start with number one. Nita, do you want to address the sinkhole high hazard area and the route selection?
Sure. So during our route selection process, we did look at all the background information and data, and we didn't see any latest information regarding the sinkhole hazard area which you're talking about. But we will definitely go back and review that again.
And how about the, did you guys look at the Brandon Community Plan and the Community Land Use Plan as part of the planning process?
We did, yes, we did. And we reviewed all the available information, publicly available information in the area.
Well, you realize that the Renell Drive is part of the El Greco neighborhood, that's part of the Garden Estates category in the Brandon Community Plan. And honestly, depending on how you do the easements, I'm really concerned that you're going to destroy the character of our neighborhood. We have an actual plan amendment, and I can reference that at a later time, that covers just our neighborhood. El Greco, Renell, and a portion of John Moore between that, and a portion of Kings Avenue between that. So, just a little short, because we're basically in the Buckhorn Creek area, and we have creek running through our neighborhood, and a lot of things like that. And so, in addition to the sinkhole concerns, I'm also concerned about that community plan.
Thank you. Nita, I had down about the borings. Can you talk a little bit about the sinkhole borings?
Sure, so we have borings performed along the route. I do not remember exactly where they are along this area, but we do have that shown on our plans, and that is publicly available information.
But that hasn't happened yet, correct? Because in the report, it specifically said that it was a desktop review. It did not say anything about borings or anything else.
We have performed preliminary borings, yes. We have.
Okay,
And those
I
are
would
shown on our
like to
60.
get information about that, specific information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Pam Barnes.
I'd like some clarification on access to our property. Someone had mentioned that if it's blocked, that there would be someone that would make it available to us and a place to park and that sort of thing. I live right on the river, I travel, and I carry 4 big dogs with me. If I come in at night with these 4 dogs, what's gonna happen if I can't get in? And I have a carload of things
Where do you live?
on Alibi Boulevard.
Do you have any other questions for us?
No, that's it.
Okay. Sam, would you like to address access both day and night, please?
Sure, so Justin spoke to it in the presentation. We're gonna have community coordinators on the project 24/7. Their responsibility is gonna be to help residents get to and from the properties through the construction zone. They'll be equipped with a golf cart, so they can help you with packages or grocery deliveries, that sort of thing.
And 4 big dogs.
And 4 big dogs, that's what you got, sure. Yep. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, if I come in at night, I'd be able to get in there with all my things and the dogs.
That's why we're staffing that position as 24/7.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
We have a question from Karen Hillary. I believe you wrote your question, but would you
I
like to?
started to, and then she told me I didn't need to.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Hillary, and I'm a native Floridian. I don't know how many of you have lived in Florida your entire lives, but I'm kind of guessing most of you haven't. And I don't know how many of you have served on Hillsborough County projects for a long time, but I've been in Hillsborough County for over 40 years, and I've seen a lot of projects go south for the neighborhoods that they've been in, including one right here at the corner of Bloomingdale and Olympia, where they promised everything was going to be great. They were going to put this retention pond in, there was going to be no flooding when they built the Publix and that whole shopping center. Guess what happened to all those houses there? Flooding. And those homeowners went years with not being able to use their homes. So I don't have a lot of faith in Hillsborough County and the people that work with them, because I've seen a lot of projects go south growing up in Hillsborough County. When this project started, I had emails where the communication was not being given. The majority of my neighbors that we all live in on Ronell had no clue this was going on. When I reached out, it took, I have his name on my email, over 2 weeks for him to respond to me, and his answer was, "We have problems with our email systems, sorry." I said, "There was a survey that none of us got, sir. I'll open it back up for you." I told him, I said, "I'm out of town until July 15th, would you open it July 15th? Sure, I can do that." Was not open July 15th, the survey was not open. I emailed him again, he opened it just before 3 o'clock and told me, "I'll leave it open till 5 for you," and I have this all in an email. He gave me 2 hours to respond to his survey. I can guarantee you, 95% of my neighbors never got that survey. The PR spin person that you guys had, when I emailed her about this, she inadvertently added me to an email to him saying, does this woman even know what she's talking about? And he was like, yeah, she knew. We had system problems. So if there was a system problem, everybody was affected, but nobody cared. So our voices weren't heard. The meeting that you guys had when you guys switched to put it on Ronell, none of us knew it was happening. Not one of us knew it was happening. None of us were there. And all of a sudden, boom, it got switched and went on to Ronell Drive. I did not know it got switched on to Ronell Drive until I got an email that said, oh, by the way, we diverted it, that route, that orange route we were gonna take has now been diverted and it's having to go to the blue route. Sorry. When I emailed this next woman, she was a total spin PR, and I said, you're doing a great job with your PR. However, I don't believe you based on experience. In anything you do in life, you're looking at experience to get your best, how are things gonna turn out? And it's never really been good for us. So I'm very disappointed that I've been told, yeah, the input we got didn't want it to go down Ronell. Yes, we didn't get much, and we know it didn't want, but it's cost saving. But these are our homes, and this is where we're invested, and this is where we've got our money. And it shouldn't lay in our hands as our problem that you guys have built all this stuff in South County, and now we have to be responsible, and our homes that we've all been in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You know, I think I saw, how long have you been in your home now? Almost 50 years, right? His son and I grew up together.
1970 to 67.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been here forever, and you guys haven't. You can't come in with your, oh, we're boring. No, you're not boring, because you don't know what went on in the house next to me, and the sinkhole, where she could actually see outside her property. I have 3 trees that have fallen on my property from county property on that creek. I have begged and begged and begged and begged and begged the county to take care of it before they fell. All 3 times when those trees fell, they crushed my fence, and the county does not come out in any timely manner to fix them. And they just go, oops, there's a huge sign that says the creek is county property, don't come on it, and then the county goes, it's not our problem.
So tonight, we're Tampa Bay Water, we can't address anything
I
related
understand
to
that
the
you're working
county.
for Hillsborough County, and these are the issues we've seen. You said comments and questions. So
Yes,
I'm
I
trying to
did,
give
I'm
you
just letting
background.
you know that we can't address Hillsborough County concerns tonight, but we can address the selection of the route. That we can explain to you further if you would like to do that, Justin.
I've been explained by your PR person that it was all a money thing.
It was a board selection. The board is elected
money.
officials for all of the member governments, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, Tampa,
But
St.
you don't
Peter,
live here and you don't understand.
She is responding exactly how I feel.
I am sure you're very frustrated, but let me let Justin respond to it so you can understand. There's a little bit more than money that went into the selection.
I have the emails that says it was money. It was all done for cost-saving measures.
Justin, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that have been on the website, you probably have seen the figures that were on there and the different color-coded routes that were on there. We have the comment here of the orange versus the blue that's on there. Have folks seen that on the website? This is not new.
I was showing many of my friends the postcards that you emailed me or sent me, and they never saw them.
So also on the website there, that it's, all this is duplicated with that. The route orange was the route that the engineers had recommended going into meeting with the board. Our board, as Michelle is saying, is elected officials, including Hillsborough County. We have 2 Hillsborough County commissioners on our board, 2 from each of the counties, and 1 from each city. So there's 9 members on our board. Hillsborough County requested specifically to move that route to blue because it worked better for their future plans and for the betterment of the water system to be closer to where their core is. So the board took that information and switched that recommendation, which they're allowed to do. They're an elected board, and the board made the decision to move to the blue. The blue also had the benefit of being cheaper, so it did have that money involved in there. But that is where the board went with that. So that is all accurate.
So I guess the final question is, as a neighborhood, that it just all of a sudden just jumps up our street, what guarantees are we gonna have? Because I've never seen a neighborhood where Hillsborough County has done something and it's been done successfully, on time, without some sort of problem. I mean, look at the widening of Bell Shoals. Talk to all those people and what happened to their homes that they weren't expecting. That's a more recent project. It's very unnerving for all of us. And it's disgusting that you didn't listen to us. And Tampa Bay Water does hold a blame because Tampa Bay Water said, oops, our email system's not working.
There were a number, there were over 200 people that weighed in for the orange route. They did. But the board
The thing that I
selected.
have says, that none of us wanted the blue route. And Tampa
That
Bay
is
Water
correct.
told me that.
That is correct, based on
But
the input we
200
had.
people, based on the amount, there's a lot more than 200 people in that area. And I know that I'm not the only one that wasn't able to respond.
The point is, the board selected what the other member government felt was best for their system to serve their customers with water. Do you want to talk about Tampa Bay Water's history of projects in this area? We have a lot that were very successful.
Absolutely. It was on one of our slides. I don't know if you want to go back to one of the first ones that's.
I guess I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I really don't want to hear it because I've listened to that experience. What I want to know is, what guarantees are you giving us as a neighborhood from our major investment? My major investment in my life is sitting in that home. And we already have had sinkholes around us. The erosion on my property is, if I showed you pictures, you'd be like, oh damn, that's crazy. And we have talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked to the county. So I guess my only question, I don't need to see this, the spin people have sent me everything numerous times, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I've read it and I've looked at it. My question is, where is my guarantee as a homeowner that I'm not gonna be involved in another headache nightmare that Hillsborough County has created for me?
Sam, do you want to talk about the pre-inspection, post-inspection?
Yeah, one of the things that we're gonna employ on this project that we've done on past projects in neighborhoods similar to this that works very well is we are gonna offer residents that are properties that are adjacent to the pipeline route, pre-inspection of your properties, both interior and exterior. You'll have the right to refuse it or accept it. And then during construction, we're gonna have in place vibration monitoring. So if you accept the inspection and we have the vibration monitoring in place, then that protects you and it also protects the project of, claims that could go either way if you have any damage to your property. So the specifications for the project are gonna have an allowable limit for how much vibration can occur from the construction operations. If we exceed that limit and that pre-inspection survey shows that there was no pre-existing damage and those limits exceeded the allowable amount, then if the structural engineer determines that, that damage came from those vibrations, then you'll have the basis for a claim.
Okay, so let's talk about, I've got a oak tree that's probably bigger than that table, that's sitting on my fence right now, from Hillsborough County property line on the creek, that's been eroded, and it's sitting there, not one person from Hillsborough County has shown up, got all the voicemails and all the emails, yes, 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 Mrs. Hillary, we know Mrs. Hillary, and then of course they don't come out. So when you come to do my pre-inspection, and you see all of that, what I perceive happening, because I've dealt enough with the county, is, yeah, but Mrs. Hillary, this erosion was already here, this isn't my fault as the construction company. If it's getting worse, and of course it's gonna get worse, because it's been worsening, and when you're doing more stuff on that creek, it's just gonna continue to get worse.
Yeah, I should clarify, the inspection is gonna be on the structure, on the structure of your house.
The land doesn't matter then?
Well, it's not gonna go to that extent. I mean, I don't.
If you, I guess you need to come to my property, hopefully you'll be the one that comes and I'll show you this erosion that's occurring along that creek bed and what's going on already, and when you see that, you're gonna be like, yeah, this is an issue.
I'm going to move us on to the next speaker because we're running short on time and I have a few more speaker cards. But if you would write that down, Ms. Hillary, on one of the comment cards, and perhaps we can get a representative of the county out there with the project team and everyone can look at it together. John Castellano is our next speaker.
She's right. I've lived on that property at home since 1969. and I built a house in 1973. There's a lot of things that concern me, and one of them is that you're saying you're just gonna rent it for 7 years or 5 years or whatever it is. What y'all say you're gonna rent it for?
We're talking about property easements, temporary easements?
Yeah.
Solely, would you like to address that?
So we're leasing that for 5 years to be conservative, but construction, once we start open cut, it will last 3 years. So if we start tunneling at the end of this year, then we go into 2026, from 3 years from that point, we should be finishing construction, because as Justin explained it, we need to have this pipe in service by 2028.
You have to understand, we already been told that y'all coming through, so we're sitting here in limbo for 1 or 2 years now, not knowing what's gonna happen for sure. And I want you to understand the humanity portion that I'm looking at is that 60% or 70% of these people won't even be alive when you're disrupting their whole lives. I want y'all to understand that. That's important.
I'm so good for Dr. Castellano.
That's important. As a human being, I care, okay? Because people here, their lives are gonna be in limbo. Okay? I understand that what, but let me tell you something. She said Ronell Drive is an iconic road in Brandon. Everybody loves that road. How in the hell did we get a pipeline right through the middle of it? It's unbelievable to me. People drive all around, and when I tell them where I live at, everybody knows, and they say, I love Ronell Drive. I wish I could be there. So, we're leaving it right there. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty. You got a pipeline that you're gonna come through, and then you're gonna put a pipeline that's gonna suck water out, and that pipeline is gonna be on our property? Is that right?
Not necessarily. The well pointing system would be adjacent to the pipe that we installed. So we need 50 foot of a space.
Man, I don't hear good, so I'm sorry. I lost my hearing aids when the hurricane come through. I lost my hearing aids.
Let me speak louder. So we need the pipe is 60 foot in diameter, the larger pipe, right? So we need the trench box to install the pipe. We need 50 foot of distance to install the pipe and to have a space to lay the pipe that we're gonna install.
Is that going to be on our property?
Not necessarily. If the 50 foot is within the road, if the pipe is being installed in the middle of the road, maybe that 50 foot ends in your front yard. And if we disrupt anything, we will restore it.
So if I want to drive into my house, the only way I get into my property is on Ronell Drive. So what are y'all gonna do? You're gonna have stuff in front of you, not on my driveway, right?
It depends.
Yeah, so your concern is about access during construction, am I understanding you correctly?
And the location of the well points.
What kind of access do I have to my property? Because if y'all are building a road, putting a pipeline, you're opening up the center of the road, put your pipe in.
Right.
You're gonna be using the right-hand side or the north side of the road, more than likely, because there's a property where y'all are inquiring about.
Let me ask you something. Did we request an easement from your property?
Did we request an easement from your property?
He's on the north side of Ronell, so probably.
So-
Right on the corner, right on the corner, John Moore Road and Ronell.
Right.
It
If we requested an easement, it's because we do. Okay. So yes, we most likely will have a well pointing system in front of your property. But once we remove that, when we install the pipe, we remove that, we will restore your front house. I mean, completely.
How long is that gonna be on the property?
We're planning to be installing 50 foot of pipe per day. So, but you need to take in consideration that a crew will go and prepare for it, install well pointing system, then a second crew will come and install the pipe, and then a third crew will come and do restoration. So that might take a month.
And then you have a hurricane.
This is under normal conditions.
How do I get into my home?
Or two,
No, we will provide access to your home the whole time. And that's why we are requesting sometime temporary easement to provide access to your home or to install the well pointing system, either one. It depends where your house falls in compared with the alignment of the pipe.
Would the property team and you guys like to meet with this gentleman after the meeting, and perhaps, do you guys have drawings that you could look at? Okay, we can pull up some drawings to help you envision your property.
maintaining access to property is a big priority for this team. And that's part of the reason why we're requesting the temporary construction easements, so we have more working room, so that we can either use that space for equipment or material storage, or in some cases, we can use that temporary construction easement for a temporary roadway so that we can maintain access to your property. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that there won't be periods of time where we won't be able to maintain that access. There will be short periods of time, like when we're trenching directly in front of your driveway, where there's no way that you're gonna be able to get in and out of your driveway with a vehicle. But we will coordinate that with you. That'll be a very short period of time. And, once that trench is backfilled, then you will be able to maintain access back to your property through your driveway.
Well, I know, I hear you talking, but I own other properties and homes other places. So how are you gonna coordinate with me when I'm here and somewhere else and all over, you know? When I get home, I need to get in.
So prior to construction, before we get there, we're gonna be putting out door hangers so that you know that we're coming, and so that we can have our community coordinators, remember that's the position that's gonna be on site all the time, so that they can coordinate with you and know what your needs are.
I'm not gonna be there.
You can call
I come in
us.
sometimes and don't come home for, you know, a week.
He's not putting
I got home out on Anne Island, that was destroyed by the hurricane. I'm still trying to get that one back together.
You can
know,
call
this is
us.
ridiculous.
You can call us and we'll call the community coordinator. The phone number that we gave will be staffed. You can call us and they'll be there right away. And Sam, are the community coordinators, they're gonna be easily seen, right? You'll have, if he could drive up and just say, hey, I need help getting in my house.
They'll be wearing a blue vest, you'll know exactly who they are.
2 a.m.